Prince Louis shocks royals with bombshell about Camilla. She hid the evidence. The British royal family has weathered decades of scandal, whispers, and palace intrigue. But nothing could have prepared the public, or even senior courtiers, for the unexpected royal bombshell that recently emerged from the most unlikely of sources, the youngest child of the Prince and Princess of Wales. Prince Louis, known to millions around the world as the cheeky, playful royal who waves, sticks his tongue out, and steals the spotlight at official events, stunned his family with an outburst so shocking that those present were left frozen in disbelief. His words, innocent but loaded with implication, left Prince William and Princess Catherine scrambling, while Queen Camilla was said to be visibly shaken. According to insiders, the little prince's confession, delivered in front of family members during what should have been a peaceful gathering, has now sparked questions, tension, and even a flurry of speculation about whether Camilla herself has been hiding something all along. It began innocently enough. The Wales family had joined King Charles and Queen Camilla for a private weekend at Balmoral, the beloved Scottish retreat where the late Queen Elizabeth spent her summers. The occasion was meant to be restorative, a rare chance for Charles, still recovering strength after his health challenges, to be surrounded by children and grandchildren. William and Catherine had hoped their 3 children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, would enjoy the open air, long walks, and family dinners without incident. Balmoral has always been a safe haven, a place where the strictness of court life eases slightly, and where laughter and casual chatter replace stiff formalities. But by the second evening, things had already begun to feel different. As the family gathered in one of the drawing rooms after dinner, the children played at the edges of the circle of adults. Prince George was quietly reading a book. Charlotte practiced a card trick she had been perfecting, while Louis, ever mischievous, was darting between the sofas, soaking in the adults' conversation. Then, out of nowhere, Louis clambered onto a chair, raised his voice above the hum of chatter, and blurted out words that silenced the room. Camilla hid the evidence. A stunned hush fell. No one laughed. No one brushed it off. Instead, a heavy, unspoken question filled the air. What evidence? According to one insider, Princess Catherine's face drained of color almost instantly. She leaned forward, grasping Louis by the arm, her motherly instincts telling her to quiet him before his innocent imagination could spiral into misunderstanding. "Louis, darling," she whispered urgently, "that's not a funny thing to say." But Louis, looking earnestly around the room, repeated, "It's true. I saw her hide it." This time, his gaze landed directly on Camilla. Those present recall Queen Camilla stiffening in her seat, forcing a smile that did little to disguise the flicker of panic in her eyes. "Children do have such wild imaginations," she murmured, her voice thin, as though attempting to brush it aside. But the damage was done. Prince William, always protective of his children but equally cautious about appearances, stood and placed a steadying hand on Louis's shoulder. "That's enough, Lou," he said in his firm yet gentle tone, the same voice he uses to guide his children in public when their playful antics go too far. "Let's not make up stories." But Louis's protest was immediate. "I'm not making it up. I saw it in the study." She hid it in the drawer when no one was looking. The room had gone deathly still. Even the crackle of the fire seemed muted against the boy's words. Witnesses say Catherine's eyes brimmed with tears, not just out of embarrassment, but out of genuine concern. She knows Louis's playful nature, yes, but she also knows children have a way of blurting out the truth in its purest, most unfiltered form. What had he seen? What evidence was he talking about? And why direct his words so specifically toward Camilla? Later, in private, Catherine reportedly confided to a trusted aide that the moment shook her deeply. It was as if he knew something the rest of US didn't. The way he looked at her, it chilled me. In the days following the incident, Balmoral buzzed with hushed speculation. Courtiers debated quietly in corners of hallways, aides rushed to control what might leak to the press, and family members avoided the subject entirely at the dinner table. But the phrase hung over the household like a storm cloud. She hid the evidence. This is the question that now haunts royal watchers. Some say Louis may have stumbled upon documents or photographs in one of Balmoral's private studies, something quickly hidden away when little footsteps echoed near. Others believe he might have overheard a hushed conversation and, in his youthful honesty, repeated it without filter. More speculative voices wonder if Louis's words inadvertently touched upon one of the monarchy's greatest fears, that secrets, long buried, may one day surface. Observers noted that Camilla seemed particularly unsettled in the hours after Louis's outburst. Normally known for her composure, she was unusually curt with aides, avoided prolonged eye contact, and excused herself early from the following day's family lunch. She was rattled, said one insider. Whatever Louis said, it struck a nerve. She brushed it off in public, but behind closed doors, she was different. Shaken. For William and Catherine, the incident presented an agonizing challenge. They are determined to protect their children, shield them from palace intrigue, and preserve their innocence. But they also know the monarchy thrives, or crumbles, on public perception. How could they silence the whispers now circling through Balmoral? How could they ensure Louis's words didn't slip into the ears of staff, journalists, or, worse, the global media? It was a dilemma with no easy solution. Interestingly, Prince George and Princess Charlotte reportedly exchanged glances when Louis made his outburst. George, more serious by nature, frowned and returned quickly to his book. Charlotte, on the other hand, looked wide-eyed at her younger brother, as though she knew exactly what he was talking about. Could it be that Louis was not alone in witnessing something? Once whispers inevitably reached the press, headlines exploded across tabloids and social media. What did Louis see? The royal bombshell that shook Balmoral. Camilla under scrutiny after Prince's shocking words. Evidence hidden? Palace scrambles to quash rumors. The public, already fascinated by palace drama, speculated endlessly. Was Louis pointing to something from Camilla's past? Was it related to her complicated history with Charles, or perhaps something more recent? Royal watchers noted that the palace's official silence on the matter only fueled the fire. Behind the scenes, Catherine reportedly broke down in private. She was said to have held Louis tightly that night, whispering to him that it was all right, that he didn't need to worry. But she also knew Louis's words had set off something bigger than himself. Children don't lie like that, Catherine confided to her mother, Carol Middleton, during a tearful phone call. He believes what he said. And that terrifies me. King Charles, already burdened with health concerns and the weight of the crown, was said to be deeply unsettled by his grandson's claim. His trust in Camilla runs deep, but the boy's words stirred memories of years past, when whispers, leaks, and secrets nearly tore the monarchy apart. He reportedly told William, "We must control this before it grows. The family cannot endure another scandal." Weeks have passed since the incident, yet those 5 words still echo in the public imagination. She hid the evidence. For some, it is nothing more than the wild imagination of a playful child. For others, it is the accidental truth-telling of innocence, unearthing what adults have worked so hard to bury. Whatever the reality, one thing is certain: Louis, the cheeky little prince, has now become an unlikely player in the endless saga of royal intrigue. And in a family where every word is scrutinized, his bombshell may prove harder to forget than anyone imagined. Was it the slip of a child's imagination, or a glimpse of something deeper, something the monarchy would prefer to keep hidden? Prince Louis may be too young to understand the storm his words unleashed, but his innocent voice has stirred a dangerous question within the House of Windsor. In a palace built on centuries of tradition and secrecy, sometimes the smallest voice speaks the loudest truth. And that truth, once spoken, cannot be unheard.